Hi friends, it's Megan, Georgia Girl Stitching here on YouTube and on Instagram. It is Wednesday, July 6th, 2022, and I'm here with something a little different. I have something I'm really excited about that I wanted to share with you, and I didn't want to wait until my next floss tube because that could not be until like the end of the month, and I just didn't want to wait that long. So a few months ago, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, a fellow med student, and we were talking about how age is talked about a lot in medical school and how the variety of ages between, whether it be our patients, our professors, or even within each other. My close friend group in med school spans a decade. I have a friend who's 22 and I have a friend who's 32. So we kind of have a wide variety of ages. And I was just talking with her, having a conversation, and I said the quote, well, girl, you're like fine wine. You just keep getting better with age. And I wanted to then send her like a cross, because she's a fellow cross stitcher. And I was trying to find a pattern to send her with that quote on it. And I just couldn't really find one. I couldn't find one that was what I was looking for, essentially. And so I was inspired to design one. And I think this was back in like February or March. I designed it. I then also designed a companion to it, but I did not have the time to stitch it. So you may have seen on my stories on Instagram a few months ago of kind of the mock-up in a distance of what this kind of looked like. But with school and boards and everything, like I just didn't have time to really like find the fabric, find the flosses, and then stitch it. Well, I now have the time. So over the last little bit, I pulled all of that. I found a fabric I loved, I pulled floss, and I stitched it. And now I'm ready to share it with you. I have created a pattern to share, and I'll get into a little bit how to actually download it if you're interested in it. But I finished this a little while ago, and I'm really excited about it. So I wanted to share it with you. I'm calling this fine wine. And so here it is. This is what it looks like. And I'll kind of do a close-up of it. So this is on 40 count, I have white piece of paper behind it. This is on 40 count Color and Cotton Old West. And my inspiration for this fabric, I really wanted to find something that kind of looked like aged parchment. Kind of that aged wine look that, like I don't know if you saw my last floss tube, you saw one of my finishes on a wine bottle that kind of had a similar fabric that had a similar look. And so that was what my inspiration for this. And then the flosses, I pulled a few different, so I pulled a variegated version, which is what I stitched with, but I also matched it to DMCs. So I have a DMC conversion as well. So the flosses I pulled, and as of yesterday, all of these flosses are available between Color and Cotton's website and 123 Stitch were the two places that I looked. And as of yesterday, they were all still available. I was careful with the Color and Cotton flosses to find threads that were part of their normal, I think they call it the classic collection line. It's the flosses that they always will have, they might be out of stock occasionally, but it's not special edition. It's not, only if you're part of the floss club, you'll get these flosses. I wanted to, because there was a color that I was gonna use and I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, well, that's not fair. So I was careful to choose flosses that everyone could theoretically get, or would be in stock more often. And then I also got a DMC conversion just in case you don't want to deal with variegated at all. So the colors I used, the black in the words and around the wine glass is Color and Cotton Rustic Black. The wine color, which I have to give credit to Barbara at Keepsakes for pulling for me. I called Keepsakes and I was like, I don't have a color that looks like red wine. Can you please pull one for me? And Barbara, a fellow wine lover, knocked it out of the park as usual. And this is classic Colorworks Bandana. The purple in the grapes is Color and Cotton Grape, which I thought was appropriate. The vine is Color and Cotton Jamestown. The green is classic Colorworks 4-leaf Clover. And then I backstitched the year here in just DMC 5200, no variegated for that. And you don't even have to backstitch the year. If you don't want to, you could leave that off. My mom had the idea of even backstitching like her birth year as like kind of like a vintage year, you know, like a wine. They have like vintage wine years, so you could do that. A lot of options there. But that's it. There's only really 5 colors plus a backstitch color. So very few colors. And I did this on 40 count. And so the final size on 40 count is 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches ish. It's like 5 5/8 by 3 5/8 inches. But if you did it on like 28 count, it would be 8 by 5.25 inches. So, and then everything is kind of in between there, depending on what size you would like to use. It's all full crosses. There are no back half stitches, quarter stitches, all full crosses except for the years and back stitch if you so choose, or your initials or anything like that. And then the pattern, I did check, it does work in Pattern Keeper. So if you are a fellow Pattern Keeper lover, it does work in Pattern Keeper. I actually stitched this off of Pattern Keeper, and that was a lot of fun. I used, it pulled the DMC colors, but you know, you can use whichever color list that you would like. And yeah, so if you are interested in stitching this, I was inspired by Julie at Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. For her patterns, she uses a website called Gumroad. And it's kind of a place for people to kind of test out products and make it easy to sell products without, you know, having to deal with like an Etsy shop or anything like that. So I have put my patterns for this and then also my autumn harvest conversion from Hello from Liz Matthews, Quaker Pumpkins. I've put both of those on Gumroad. And the way I have chosen to set up Gumroad, similar to Julie, is it's a choose your own price. So they are technically free. They're $0. If you just want to go download it for $0, you are more than welcome to do that. If you feel so inclined to pay something for it, then you choose however much you feel inclined to pay. There is no pressure, $0. This is for you. And I made it for me and I made it for my friend, and now I just want to share it with you guys like I did with the autumn harvest conversion. So zero pressure. You know, if you want to just have $0 download, you're more than welcome to. And so it's very easy to use. I've used it with Julie. It's a very easy thing, and it just downloads the PDF that I had uploaded. And you can also use PayPal. So you can use like a credit card, or I have enabled it so that you can use your PayPal if you so choose as well. So I think that's kind of like, oh, the stitch count. I guess that would probably be a good one to tell you about. The stitch count is 112 by 73. So it's a pretty small pattern. It only took me, I mean, it is 40 count, so I was using two hand stitching, so it was a little bit faster than like if I was doing a 2-strand. I'm just gonna show it again while I talk about it. It took me, I think I wanna say like 10 hours-ish. I didn't like fully time it, but I kind of kept a little bit of track of time, and I wanna say 10 hours. So it's a small pattern. And then I have no idea how I'm going to finish it though. So if you do decide to download this and stitch it, please tag me on Instagram if you choose to share it. I'd love to see your work and see what you've decided to stitch it on and stitch with. If you're more of a white wine person, I did have this thought when I finished it. If you're more of a white wine, you don't really like the red wine, you could find like a yellow to switch out the wine color, and then you could change the grapes to more of like the green grape that some white wines are made with. So it's definitely easy to personalize to your own taste, or if you're making this for a friend, to their taste. Very easy to personalize. So I hope you like it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment or direct message. If there's anything wrong with the pattern, please let me know so I can fix it. I am major, I wish there was a level below amateur, because I'm like below beginner of doing this. This is my first official pattern that I've ever like put together. I designed the cover on like Canva. I know people talked about it. It was so much fun to do, and I really enjoyed it. And there is going to be, at some point, I don't know when, there will be a whiskey companion. So instead of wine, it'll say whiskey, and it's in a whiskey bottle. So for those that are not wine lovers and more whiskey lovers, that is coming soon. So thanks so much for watching this. And again, if you have any questions or comments or really any feedback at all, I would really, constructive, nice feedback, I would love it, just so I can improve, because I do hope to do this occasionally in the future whenever the inspiration hits me. This was such like a light bulb hitting me in the face with this one, and I just really enjoyed it. So if that ever happens again, please feel free to give me feedback so I can make them only better. So thanks so much, and happy stitching, everyone.